Kim Kardashian has never been too shy to admit that she dislikes being pregnant, but after the birth of Saint West, pregnancy was no longer an option for her as she was forced to rely on a gestational carrier. Interestingly enough, Kim has described this as even more stressful than being pregnant herself. Why? Because Kim hates to give up any kind of control. You know that means tons of strict rules for the person carrying her child, and we'll let you know what rules they're expected to follow. Diet. Everyone knows that when it comes to food, the members of the Kardashian family can be a little bit particular. Kourtney Kardashian is so paranoid about toxins getting into her food that she refuses to use a microwave.
Eating all this food, you animals, you're just gonna get fat.
While Kim might not be that extreme, she does have some ideas about what her surrogate should be eating and what she shouldn't. On the banned list are things like soft cheeses and raw fish, which many consider to be unsafe for pregnant women in general. Beyond those banned foods, Kim stresses the importance of having a healthy diet that's all about balance. She doesn't want her growing baby to miss out on important nutrients like folic acid, calcium, zinc, iron, and fiber. This means the gestational carrier is going to be chowing down on tons of healthy foods and plenty of leafy greens. But diet is also an area where Kim is very realistic. She admits when she was pregnant with North and Saint, she simply couldn't stop herself from eating donuts. Although she wants her baby to have the very best nutrition, she believes it's unfair to ban any junk food. After all, she couldn't follow that rule with her own pregnancies. Team effort. Kim Kardashian loves her children, but she's not going to lie. She really doesn't like being pregnant. But she admits the struggles with feeling in control of her life and having someone else carry her baby exasperates this. So it's not too surprising that Kim wants to be as hands-on as possible with her gestational carrier. Just because she isn't carrying the baby herself doesn't mean Kim is skipping out on the doctor's visits. She wants to be allowed to attend every last checkup and ultrasound to make sure everything is going well and feel like a part of the experience. And if Kim insists on being at every last doctor's appointment, you know she's gotta be there when the baby's born. Prior to the birth, Kim and her surrogate agreed Kim would be present in the delivery room and would be the first to hold the baby. The women in the Kardashian family have a lot of experience hanging out in hospital delivery rooms, so this experience was second nature to Kim. And although Kanye West wasn't there the instant Chicago was born, he was there shortly after to hold his daughter. Confidentiality. While being famous allows Kim Kardashian and Kanye West to have access to tons of resources, it also comes with a unique set of challenges. This celebrity couple has no shortage of fans, but they weren't sure they wanted one of them to act as their gestational carrier. The issue of whether or not to reveal their identities in advance was something the couple grappled with. On one hand, they didn't want an overly obsessed fan being the one to carry their child, or someone who might see this as an opportunity to get their 5 minutes of fame more than an opportunity to help Kim and Kanye grow their family. But on the other hand, they also didn't want to hire someone who can't stand them. So in the end, their gestational carriers had to decide whether or not they wanted to be involved without knowing who Kim and Kanye are. They knew basic information about the couple in advance, but didn't know their true identities until later on. Kim and Kanye did have the option of being totally anonymous, but decided not to keep their surrogate completely in the dark. Regarding the surrogate who carried Chicago, Kim says she had seen Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but wasn't a super fan. Baby shower. Kim Kardashian couldn't say enough nice things about the gestational carrier who delivered baby Chicago. According to Kim, the two women got close during the pregnancy, and Kim described her as the perfect person to do this for her family. With that in mind, many fans were shocked when the surrogate wasn't invited to the lavish, over-the-top baby shower hosted by the Kardashians. But Kim had a very specific reason for not inviting her surrogate, and claimed everyone was on the same page in this regard. According to Kim, her surrogate had met her family prior to the shower and understood she wasn't invited to the event. Kim was struggling to explain the concept of a surrogate to her children, North and Saint, and knew it was a sensitive matter. She wanted the baby shower to strictly be a celebration of Chicago and didn't want to have to worry about awkward questions from the kids. Although she missed out on a massive Kardashian bash, Kim says her surrogate wasn't upset about being left out of the fun. Hopefully, things will be easier this time around, and Kim will be able to be more open about the experience with her children. Security. This aspect of being a surrogate for Kim and Kanye could be either a blessing or a curse depending on how you look at it. Everyone knows this famous family never goes anywhere without their security force, and they don't take any chances when it comes to not yet born members of the family either. Before Chicago was born, Kim and Kanye moved their surrogate into a safe and secure house and spared no expense hiring a security team. The house was reportedly quite nice and chosen to be as inconspicuous as possible. The surrogate also had access to a driver in case they wanted to travel anywhere with safety and ease. It's safe to assume Kim and Kanye are going to do this with their current surrogate as well. After Kim's harrowing robbery in Paris, the family has beefed up security, and it's easy to see why. Everyone knows Kim and Kanye aren't shy about spending money, and the safety of their family is their top priority. According to some sources, Kim and Kanye spent about $1.5 million on lodging and security over the course of the pregnancy. Identity. Considering all of the security measures Kim and Kanye have in place, it's important for their surrogate to remain inconspicuous. Obviously, they don't want to hire a gestational carrier who is going to be constantly talking to the tabloids and trying to cash in on their pregnancy. Chicago's surrogate, a woman named Lorena, did eventually show up on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Well, sort of. Her face was obscured, but viewers got to see her meet many members of the Kardashian family. Kim couldn't say enough great things about working with Lorena and claimed she was the perfect fit for her family. So it surprised many fans to know that she chose a different gestational carrier when it came time to having her fourth child. However, Kim had a pretty good reason not to use Lorena again. It turns out Kim's previous surrogate was having a baby of her own. That's right, Lorena was already pregnant with her own child when Kim and Kanye decided to have another. Because of this, Kim and Kanye had to find another person willing to carry a child for them. Pampering. Carrying a child isn't easy, and it's natural that a gestational carrier will want to indulge in some little luxuries from time to time. But Kim had some strict rules about which beauty treatments are not acceptable during pregnancy. It may seem like a crazy thing to restrict, but Kim had some good reasons to ban certain activities for the safety of her unborn baby. No matter how sore the surrogate's muscles get, she's forbidden from relaxing in a sauna. This spa treatment raises body temperature for both mom and baby, and for this reason, doctors advise against it. This also applies to hot tubs, which are also forbidden under both Kim and her doctor's orders. This next banned action is a bit more controversial, and some might even say hypocritical. Kim once confessed to spending 13 hours getting her hair the perfect platinum hue, but her surrogate is forbidden from using hair dye. Research on the topic is limited, but research indicates the chemicals in hair dye don't have any adverse effects on developing children. Still, Kim isn't willing to take any chances, and her surrogate will have to wait 9 months before reaching for a box of dye. Kitty litter. There are many surprising everyday items which can be dangerous for pregnant women. Even something like processed meat or soft cheeses can cause serious problems. One seemingly innocuous danger has to do with cats, or more specifically, their litter. Cat droppings can contain parasites which can cause an infection known as toxoplasmosis. This infection can be passed from mother to baby and is generally considered to be quite dangerous. But the good news is, this is also relatively rare and easily avoided. Cats carrying the parasite are uncommon, and many times toxoplasmosis doesn't have any symptoms. You could have already gotten it, be immune, and be none the wiser. Also, changing the litter frequently, washing your hands, and wearing gloves can help reduce the risk. Kim isn't cruel enough to demand that someone get rid of their beloved cat, but she does want to mitigate risk when possible. Because of this, she has banned her surrogate from changing litter boxes while pregnant. Even though the risk is minor, it's still too much of a chance for Kim to take. And we have a feeling her surrogates weren't too brokenhearted about being able to pass this chore on to someone else. Payment. We know it seems impossible to put a price on a beautiful new life, but of course surrogates get compensated for the service they provide. Considering how much money Kim and Kanye spent on security, the amount they paid their first surrogate might shock you. Even incredibly wealthy celebrities like Kim and Kanye pay standard rates, and their surrogate received $45,000 for her service. She was paid the amount in 10 installments of $4,500 each, and there was a possibility for her to earn more. If she had ended up having multiples, Kim and Kanye would have forked over $5,000 extra per baby. If the pregnancy caused any damage to the surrogate's reproductive organs, she would gain another $4,000. It may seem like a drop in the bucket for Kim, but there's a reason celebs pay the same rates as anyone else. They want to make sure a surrogate is doing it for the right reasons and not simply to make a huge sum of money. Choosing the right gestational carrier is so important, and Kim wouldn't want someone who doesn't take the process seriously. However, Kim does treat her surrogate to some nice extras like a nutritionist and personal trainer. Safety. There are many guidelines pregnant women are advised to follow in order to ensure a healthy baby. While some of them aren't completely set in stone, Kim Kardashian isn't taking any chances when it comes to her children. Some of the rules are obvious, like no smoking during pregnancy. Everyone knows how dangerous smoking is for adults, let alone babies who are trying to grow and develop. Obviously, binge drinking is a huge no-no when pregnant. There was a time when doctors believed there was no safe amount of alcohol while pregnant, but new research could disprove this. Many people believe having a very occasional alcoholic beverage while pregnant is completely fine. However, Kim has put alcoholic strictly on the forbidden list when it comes to her gestational carrier. Carrying a baby for Kim means saying goodbye to an occasional glass of wine. Although Kim was strict about banning alcohol, she was more lenient when it came to caffeine. The surrogate is allowed to drink a single caffeinated beverage per day. Doctors claim it's possible for pregnant women to have about 200 milligrams of caffeine per day without adverse effects. What do you think about these rules Kim Kardashian expects her surrogate to follow? Do you think she's doing her best to ensure a safe pregnancy, or is she being too controlling? Tell us what you think in the comments section, and then click subscribe to get the latest videos from the taco. Bye for now!